Did you know that Alexander the Great once wept because there were no more worlds left to conquer? Join us as we unravel the fascinating life and tragic end of one of history's greatest leaders. Welcome to History and Culture. If you're passionate about exploring the incredible stories of the past and how they shaped our world, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell to stay updated with our latest content. Stick with us until the end, where we'll reveal the most astonishing legend about Alexander the Great that you won't want to miss. Alexander the Great was born in 356 BC in Pella, the capital of the Kingdom of Macedon. His father, King Philip II, was a brilliant military leader who had united most of the Greek city-states under Macedonian rule. His mother, Queen Olympias, was a strong-willed woman with a deep belief in Alexander's divine destiny. Macedonia, under Philip II's reign, was transformed from a relatively weak kingdom into a formidable power in the ancient world. Philip reformed the army, introducing the phalanx formation that would become a key element of Alexander's military success. The political landscape of Greece at the time was one of rivalry and conflict among city-states, each vying for dominance. Philip's ability to unite these states laid the groundwork for Alexander's future conquests, enabling him to inherit a powerful and cohesive military force. Philip and Olympias had a tumultuous relationship, marked by political alliances and personal conflicts. Despite their differences, both parents played crucial roles in shaping Alexander's ambition and sense of destiny. Olympias was known for her intelligence, ambition, and strong influence over Alexander. She claimed divine ancestry, which fueled her belief in Alexander's special destiny. Philip's multiple marriages and political maneuvers often led to tension with Olympias. Despite their personal discord, both parents were deeply invested in Alexander's future, ensuring he received the best education and preparation for leadership. During Alexander's early life, Greece was a region of fierce competition and rivalry among city-states like Athens, Sparta, and Thebes. Philip's military campaigns had brought relative stability and unity, but tensions remained high. The Greek city-states were known for their independent and often competitive nature. Thebes had once been the dominant power in Greece, but Philip's victory at the Battle of Kyrenia in 338 BC cemented Macedonian supremacy. Despite this, many Greeks resented Macedonian rule and saw Philip as a foreign oppressor. Alexander inherited these tensions, and his early reign focused on solidifying Macedonian control and quelling any potential rebellions. The Persian Empire was the dominant power in the ancient world, and Greece had a long history of conflict with Persia. Alexander's father had planned to launch a campaign against Persia, a dream that Alexander would later pursue with great determination. The Persian Empire, under rulers like Darius III, controlled vast territories stretching from the Mediterranean to the Indus Valley. The Greco-Persian Wars had left a legacy of animosity and unfinished business between the Greeks and Persians. Philip's planned invasion of Persia was halted by his assassination, but Alexander quickly adopted his father's vision, viewing it as both a continuation of Macedonian expansion and a personal quest for glory. Alexander was tutored by the philosopher Aristotle, who taught him subjects ranging from philosophy to science. Aristotle's teachings instilled in Alexander a love for knowledge and a desire to learn about the diverse cultures he would encounter. Aristotle, one of the greatest philosophers of the time, was invited by Philip to tutor Alexander at the Temple of the Nymphs at Mysa. Aristotle's teachings covered a wide array of subjects, including ethics, politics, and natural sciences. This education fostered Alexander's appreciation for philosophy and learning, which he carried throughout his campaigns. Aristotle's influence also extended to Alexander's political ideas, emphasizing the importance of Greek culture and the potential for a harmonious world. In 336 BC, King Philip II was assassinated at a wedding celebration. The exact motives remain unclear, but his death paved the way for Alexander to ascend the throne at the age of 20. After his father's death, Alexander quickly consolidated power, eliminating rivals and securing loyalty among the Macedonian nobility. He was determined to achieve his father's dream of conquering Persia. Upon becoming king, Alexander faced immediate challenges to his rule. He swiftly dealt with potential rivals, including executing his cousin Amyntas IV and other conspirators. Alexander's bold actions reassured the Macedonian army and nobility of his strength and leadership capabilities. He quickly gained the support of the Greek city-states, which had been subdued by his father, and focused on solidifying his rule before turning his attention to the Persian campaign. In 334 BC, Alexander set out on his campaign against the Persian Empire. He crossed the Hellespont into Asia Minor, where he would begin his series of legendary conquests. Alexander's campaign into Asia Minor marked the beginning of a series of military exploits that would change the ancient world. With an army of about 35,000 troops, Alexander crossed the Hellespont, inspired by the myths of Greek heroes like Achilles. His first significant engagement was at the Battle of Granicus, where his tactical brilliance and fearless leadership secured a crucial victory. This initial success emboldened his forces and set the stage for further conquests. Alexander's first major battle was at the river Granicus. His forces defeated a much larger Persian army, demonstrating his military genius and gaining him a foothold in Asia Minor. The Battle of Granicus was a decisive victory for Alexander, showcasing his innovative use of cavalry and coordination between different arms of his military. Despite the risk of attacking across a river, Alexander's boldness and strategic foresight allowed him to rout the Persian forces, securing critical territory and resources. This victory also boosted morale and established Alexander's reputation as a formidable leader capable of challenging the might of Persia. Alexander's campaign continued with the siege of Tyre, a strategically important city on the coast. The siege lasted 7 months, and its successful capture opened the way to Egypt and the eastern Mediterranean. Tyre was a well-fortified island city and a key naval base for the Persians. Alexander's siege tactics included constructing a causeway, or mole, to reach the island, and employing siege towers and battering rams. The eventual fall of Tyre demonstrated Alexander's determination and ingenuity in overcoming seemingly insurmountable obstacles. This victory not only secured his control over the eastern Mediterranean but also sent a message to other cities of the futility of resisting his army. In Egypt, Alexander was welcomed as a liberator. He founded the city of Alexandria, which would become a major center of learning and culture. He was also declared the son of the god Ammonius, reinforcing his divine status. Egypt, under Persian control, saw Alexander as a liberator from Persian rule. His arrival was marked by a peaceful transition of power, with the local population and priesthood supporting him. In Alexandria, he established a city that would become renowned for its library and intellectual contributions. His recognition as the son of Ammonius at the Oracle of Siwa further enhanced his status as a semi-divine ruler, a narrative he cultivated to unify his empire. Alexander faced King Darius III of Persia at the Battle of Issus in 333 BC. Despite being outnumbered, Alexander's tactical brilliance secured a decisive victory, forcing Darius to flee. The Battle of Issus was fought in a narrow coastal plain, which nullified the numerical advantage of the Persian forces. Alexander's strategic use of the terrain and his cavalry's maneuverability led to a crushing defeat for the Persians. The capture of Darius's family during the battle demonstrated Alexander's power and put immense pressure on the Persian king. The victory at Issus opened the door to further advances into Persian territory. Continuing his march through Persia, Alexander captured Babylon, one of the empire's key cities. He was greeted as a hero and began to integrate Persian customs and administration into his rule. Babylon was one of the most splendid and cosmopolitan cities of the ancient world, known for its impressive architecture, including the Hanging Gardens, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. When Alexander entered Babylon, he was met with celebrations and acceptance by the local population. He respected Babylonian traditions and religious practices, allowing the people to continue their customs. This approach helped Alexander maintain stability and support in the newly conquered territories. Babylon became a crucial base for his further campaigns and served as a symbol of his growing empire. The decisive battle against Persia came at Gaugamela in 331 BC. Alexander's forces defeated Darius once more, effectively ending Persian power and making Alexander the master of the known world. The Battle of Gaugamela, also known as the Battle of Arbela, was fought on a vast plain, allowing Darius to deploy his large army in war elephants. Despite being outnumbered, Alexander's tactical innovation and use of the phalanx and cavalry allowed him to break through the Persian lines and achieve a decisive victory. Darius fled the battlefield, leaving his empire vulnerable to Alexander's advances. This victory marked the collapse of Persian power and the beginning of Alexander's dominance over the vast territories of the Persian Empire. Alexander sought to blend Greek and Persian cultures, encouraging marriages between his soldiers and Persian women and adopting elements of Persian dress and ceremony. Alexander's vision was to create a unified empire where Greek and Persian cultures coexisted harmoniously. He promoted the idea of cultural fusion by encouraging his soldiers to marry local women, famously arranging mass weddings at Susa. He also adopted Persian customs and attire, which helped him gain acceptance among his new subjects. This policy of integration aimed to strengthen his control and promote loyalty among the diverse populations within his empire. Although this approach faced resistance from some of his Macedonian troops, it laid the groundwork for the Hellenistic culture that would thrive long after his death. Alexander was known for his relatively lenient treatment of conquered peoples. He often kept local rulers in place and respected local customs, which helped maintain stability in his empire. Unlike many conquerors of his time, Alexander often allowed local leaders to retain their positions if they pledged loyalty to him. This strategy minimized resistance and ensured smoother transitions of power. By respecting local traditions and religions, Alexander was able to gain the support of the conquered populations. This approach not only facilitated his conquests but also helped to maintain peace and order across his vast empire, ensuring that his rule was seen as legitimate and beneficial rather than purely oppressive. Alexander's campaign extended into the Indian subcontinent, where he faced King Porus at the Battle of the Hydaspes River. This victory marked the easternmost expansion of his empire. The Battle of the Hydaspes in 326 BC was one of Alexander's most challenging battles due to the formidable resistance posed by King Porus and his army, which included war elephants. Despite the difficult terrain and monsoon rains, Alexander's strategic brilliance and adaptability secured a hard-fought victory. Impressed by Porus's bravery, Alexander reinstated him as a satrap, regional governor, showcasing his respect for valor and leadership. This battle marked the furthest extent of Alexander's conquests, as his troops, exhausted and longing for home, refused to march further into the Indian subcontinent. Despite his success, Alexander's troops were weary and resisted further campaigning. Reluctantly, he turned back, recognizing the limits of his empire's reach. After the victory at the Hydaspes, Alexander's ambition drove him to continue exploring the Indian subcontinent. However, his troops, having marched thousands of miles from Macedonia and faced harsh conditions, were exhausted and homesick. They were also intimidated by the prospect of facing the powerful Nanda Empire and its vast army further east. Recognizing the morale and physical limits of his forces, Alexander decided to return westward, effectively ending his campaign of expansion. This decision highlighted the practical challenges of maintaining such a vast empire and the need to consolidate his gains. On his return journey, Alexander focused on consolidating his vast territories. He planned further campaigns, including an invasion of Arabia, but his plans would never be realized. As Alexander returned from India, he took measures to strengthen the administration of his empire, appointing trusted officials to govern various regions and settling disputes among his generals. He also focused on infrastructure projects, such as building new cities and expanding trade routes. Alexander's vision included further expansion into Arabia and beyond, but these plans were cut short by his untimely death. His return to Babylon marked a period of reflection and consolidation, as he sought to ensure the stability and prosperity of his empire. In 323 BC, Alexander fell ill in Babylon. Despite the efforts of his physicians, he died at the age of 32. The exact cause of his death remains a mystery, with theories ranging from fever to poisoning. Alexander's death marked the end of an era, but his influence on history, culture, and military strategy is still felt today. He remains one of the most studied and admired figures in history. And now, for the most surprising fact about Alexander the Great. The encounter between Alexander the Great and Diogenes the Cynic is one of the most famous anecdotes from antiquity, illustrating the contrast between worldly power and philosophical detachment. According to the legend, Alexander visited Corinth, where Diogenes was living in self-imposed poverty. Diogenes was known for his ascetic lifestyle and disdain for material wealth, famously living in a large ceramic jar instead of a house. When Alexander, impressed by the philosopher's reputation, approached him and offered to grant him any wish, Diogenes simply replied, "Stand out of my sunlight." This response highlighted Diogenes' indifference to power and wealth, emphasizing his belief that true happiness comes from independence and self-sufficiency. Alexander's reaction to Diogenes is also noteworthy. It is said that he admired the philosopher's courage and conviction, remarking, "If I were not Alexander, I would wish to be Diogenes." This statement reflects Alexander's recognition of the philosopher's inner freedom and strength, qualities that even a conqueror might envy. The anecdote highlights a moment of mutual respect between two vastly different individuals, each embodying different forms of greatness, Alexander through his empire building and Diogenes through his steadfast commitment to his principles. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you want us to cover a specific topic, please write it in the comments. Give this video a like and share it so your family and friends can also learn about the life and tragic end of Alexander the Great. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. And don't miss our recommended video at the end. You will enjoy it. Never forget, history is the imitator of time, the repository of actions, the witness of the past, the example and warning of the present. The caution for the future.